All right, we should. You should probably be able to grab the link now from the Plooshies account.
All right,
Um,
real quick.
Try refreshing because it takes like a few seconds or whatever.
I got it.
Nice. All right, cool. I'll go live on Abstract 2.
All right, post it in our Discord.
Nice, dude. Holy shit, I can just hear Scarly typing so fucking fast, bro.
Sorry, I'm away from my desk right now, so I'm on my little laptop. So
Oh, I see. Nah, yeah, that's fine. Like, dude, that fucking words per minute must be really high on your end, hey?
yes, sir.
Oh shit. Okay, let me remind people. Discord and Abstract. All right. All right. Let me fucking pull this shit.
Well, I think my mic might be using my Mac. Oh, the fuck. I'm gonna turn up
Try
my
to switch.
mic. Let me
Okay.
know if
Yeah.
it's too loud. Is that too loud?
No, I think that's fine. Well, I
Okay.
think that yeah, that's perfect. All right, I'm done posting everything, and I think all right, dude, I'm so excited for today. Holy shit! Already 170 people. Not too
Let's go.
shabby, in my opinion. Yeah, dude. By the way, before we begin, though, we have this sort of inside joke within the Plooshies community that if we manage to get to 2K live views, I don't know when that's gonna happen, how we're gonna be able to pull that up, but I'm gonna get a tattoo of my plushie. So, no pressure. But if it happens,
Let's
dude,
go.
honestly, I honestly think, and Cole and I have been saying that perhaps next week that could happen. But I'm pretty. I mean, if we would have done this with you before we actually had mainnet going live, I reckon we would have made it to 2K like easy as because we were getting insane numbers back then. But yeah, dude,
Yeah,
dude,
when Etho's flipping 4K and everyone was
yeah,
bullish on everything,
I
it is
know,
what it
right, dude?
is.
How quickly things change, hey? Like in a few weeks, it's fucking insane, dude. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Anyways, guys, if you are watching this today, I'm very happy to be hosting. You know, a man that needs no intro, fucking Scully, the one and only Scully, founder of On-Chain Heroes. If you're not familiar, like Cole, one of our 3D artists, will be creating an honorary plushie for Scully. With on-chain hero trades, etc. This is pretty fucking epic. This is what we've been doing for quite a while. So thanks the 240 people that are watching this at the moment. You could have been somewhere else. You chose to be here with us, listening to me yap all the time. and now you're gonna be able to listen to Scully as well. So, Scully, sir, the floor is yours, mate.
Let's go. All right. Thanks for having me, guys. I am Scarly. I'm the founder of a fully on chain game called On Chain Heroes. We just wrapped up our season one, and
Nice.
people are eagerly awaiting what's next. Maybe we'll share some alpha here today, exclusive to the Plooshies live stream. Maybe not. We'll
Hey
see how it
yo.
goes and we'll see how we feel. But I'm super excited to be here, and thanks for the invite. I'm so stoked to be here.
Yeah, dude, Scully, I feel like every single one of us holds at least one on-chain hero. Some people are holding, the infamous cock ring as well. Yeah,
My
dude,
legacy.
your legacy to fucking Web3 is the cock rings, hey? But
I know.
yeah, dude, we can literally start by before we start introducing like what is on-chain heroes and everything that you've done so far since you minted, the legacy collection, which is, the cock rings, whatever you want to call it. I
It's
think it's fucking funny. It's just fucking funny. Yeah,
yeah.
dude. I want to get to like our community. I feel like maybe your community, because I don't know how often you do streams or spaces or whatever, but like getting people to know you as well. Like, who the fuck is Scarly? Like, how come suddenly everyone was insanely bullish on this guy that's been around for quite a while? So, like, I feel like people who've been around since, I don't know, maybe 2020, 21, they know, like, who the fuck are you, right? But for someone who's new, maybe joining the ecosystem via abstract or whatever, like, yeah, dude. Um, yeah. Who's
All
Scar?
right. Who's
Yeah.
Garly?
Yeah.
Who is Garly? So I am literally just some dude on the internet that found some other dudes on the internet to make a fun game. And fun is very subjective, but if I start from the beginning, so I'm a software engineer by trade. So
Okay.
I've been working in Web two for 12 years, doing random Web two stuff like websites, apps, distributed systems, etc., etc.
Oh
I got
wow.
into Web three at the end of 21, so this was
Mm.
like right at the near the tail end of the NFT bull run. So
Yep.
I vividly remember like when I started looking at NFTs, there was a project called Mechaverse, which was like super
Oh
hype,
shit.
and people were
No way.
like,
Yes.
I was like Mechaverse, like Hate Beast, like
Yeah.
that time frame, right? So
Yep.
maybe a bit later than some of you guys, but
Mm.
that was kind of my first memory. I was looking at NFTs. I was trying to figure out, what are these like little things? And a
Yeah.
project that caught my eye was Wolf Game, which was
Mm.
a infamous GameFi project at the
Yeah.
time, which is still running, still like cooking new things up. But that's how that was my first NFT. I joined as a community member. I ended up joining the team after creating like because Wolf Game was a fully on chain game as well.
Yeah.
All of the data was there publicly, and I was like just creating tools, creating stuff, and eventually I joined the team as the lead
Mm.
dev. Stayed there over the next 2.5 years, and
Oh wait. So wait. Before, sorry for interrupting you. So you started as a community member for them, and then you started doing shit for all of them, and then you
yeah,
become the lead dev. That's
yes
insane, dude.
sir,
Holy
yes sir.
damn. GG.
I I joined. I got my job offer through Twitter. So for those of you
Okay.
guys that are listening, I always say this, but building your like Twitter profile and your brand is probably
Mm.
like the best thing that you can do, unless you're like some giga whale, right? But it opened up a lot of doors. That's when I actually first had DMs with Luca.
Mm.
Just like it never amounted to anything, but it was like, what do you do? Maybe
Yeah.
there's a future where we can, do cook something together. But I ended up joining Wolf Game. Um, so that's some like maybe some lore there.
Yeah.
But yeah, did Wolf Game, uh, moved on to like a big DeFi protocol, which is still like really big, doing DeFi stuff. I always knew I'd end up doing my own thing at some point, and that turned out to be on Chain Heroes, and the rest is history, right? So that's
Yeah.
a high level overview of who I am and kind of where I'm coming from.
Dude, I mean, I guess it really does make sense that, I mean, with your software engineer background and the stuff that you
Hmm.
did for Wolf Game, right? Like, people knew that okay, this is a base dev, like he knows what he's doing, right? So kind of like how long were you planning on Chin Heroes when you were like, okay, you know what, I'm fucking done maybe working for someone, I want to do my own shit, I want to
Yeah,
bring my shit, right? Because sometimes I feel
yeah,
like all of us go through that sort of period where we're like, you know what, fuck this shit, I don't want to work for for the big man, I want to do my own stuff. um
for
when did
sure,
like even the name, right, like On Chain Heroes, like the whole concept of bringing an idle game, like which is something that we can discuss later on. But like, when did that
for sure.
kind of aha moment was for you? Like, okay, this is a time for me. Let's cook something.
Absolutely. So, uh, I've always done side projects, just while like throughout the years. I just always
Mm,
like building stuff, just testing out
yep.
new technologies, uh, and really the idea for on-chain heroes has been brewing for years, right? Ever since I
Mm,
got into Web3 and I was trying to figure out what smart contracts were and like why this was important, why everything was like why on-chain games are like interesting, right?
yep.
The decentralization and permissionless aside, just having all of that data on chain and allowing people to build something on top of what I've built was just so fascinating. Um, so really, the idea has been brewing since even before I joined Wolf Game, but it really
Wow.
started forming and you know getting into my head that I could probably pull this off. Like
Yeah.
if there was anyone that could pull this off, probably like there's not that many, and I thought that I'm probably well positioned to build something
Mm,
like this. I'm not a you know I'm literally like I say this to my holders all the time.
mm,
I'm literally one of you guys, right? I've
yeah.
been you know playing the same games. I've been losing money on the same stuff. So honestly, it's been brewing for years. I only took the leap about a year ago to like
Okay.
actively pursue this, and the whole thesis was right like it was full on like meme coin mania and like
Mm,
point farming mania, and I was like, there's probably something more to Web3 than
than just that. Yeah.
yeah than just cabal controlled meme coins and like point
Yeah.
farming. So the idea was to bring back some fun to
Mm,
NFTs, and fun is subjective, but the crowd that I'm with, they love these kind of uh, high risk, high stakes degen games where
yeah.
it doesn't take up too much of their time. So that's the niche that we're going for, and
Yeah.
luckily we had so many people believe in the vision and buy into it and play and have a good time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
mean that's
Dude, I think you nailed it perfectly, because obviously people know you as the front facing guy of Ancient Heroes, right? Obviously you have your team doing a bunch of shit for you guys, but like
yes
I
sir.
feel like I feel like when you said like I am one of the few that were able to pull something like this, I think it is a true testament of like truly believing in what you want to build, right? Because you're like, holy shit, I believe in myself. I love these kind of games. It's fucking funny when you put it like, dude, I've been playing these games. I've been losing money with you guys as well. But let's bring my touch to this, and finding that perfect balance with like the DJing side of thing with something super easy, simple simplicity, right? For people to being able to play the game, just a few clicks here and there, chat with everyone, have fun, and then that's it, right? And then people stay even when they don't, because I've seen that, right? Because obviously I've been playing the game too, waiting for season 2, by the way. But yeah, it's
Yes,
like
man.
just do stuff super quick and then just stay there and chat with the fucking guys, like with your mates, which is pretty fucking cool, dude, like honestly. So kudos to you for bringing something like that, that people will say that this is not fucking Web3 gaming, they have their high standards or whatever. But like,
Of
dude,
course.
if you're bringing the fun, right? Like you said, yes, it's subjective, but you're literally bringing on-chain games with on-chain heroes. Um, so yeah,
Of
dude.
course.
Um, the name for the rings and heroes, just something, keep it simple. Like not much of a, did I want to bring some lore behind this, the characters or whatever. How did that? Yeah, how did that happen?
Oh, you mean like is there more lore coming? Is that what you're
Yeah,
asking?
yeah.
For
As
sure.
is there, as in there's lore from the rings, the heroes. Are they like main characters? Like
Yes,
what's up
sir.
with them? Okay.
So that's something that we're working on in the background. We built and launched pretty quickly,
Mm,
because the main goal was like distribution and just actually
yeah.
launching. And now we're starting to think about, okay, we look at Plooshies, and like they have their own, like Victor the Viking, they have their own main characters, they have lore, they're
Yeah.
building the universe. That's something that we're lacking, and it's something that we need to get better at.
Mm,
Candidly, this is not one of our strengths, and it's something that's so interesting to me, and it's
mm,
how people grow attached to this community, and like keep people interested. We're doing something like this by introducing the game in phases, where each phase is introducing a different part of the universe. So
okay.
for those that aren't aware, like our next activation or big activation is a world boss. So the On-Chain Heroes universe, like we're going to be building out the story via like gifts and like stuff that we do best. But in game, our world is under attack, and all of the heroes will need to band together to fight this, and it'll have. I can't share too. I can share more about this later, but without going into too much detail, it's something that we're looking at. It's something that we're conscious of, and we're doing it soon with with our next big activation.
Dude, oh mate, let's fucking go. Music to my ears. Because I feel like this dude, even when I look at the collection, right? And the stuff that you've been kind of hinting here and there, when you join the website and you start seeing few things that we don't really I don't even fucking know what's gonna happen, right? But it keeps me captivated. And now if you bring this sort of, lore to some sort of characters or, putting it all together so people can feel that sort of emotional attachment other than obviously the main thing, which is the game, the teaching aspect of it. I think it's just you really have something there, and I personally I can't wait for you to be able to start dropping all of that. So yeah, dude. Um, One of the things that I can personally say related to like on-chain heroes is like how you manage to say fuck you to the market when you launched the rings, right? Because
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
the sentiment was really shit, and it really is sort of like, you know what? I'm not gonna wait. I'll just do it, and I'll bring that activity. Like, fuck it, right? I truly believe in what I'm doing. I have the people backing me up and stuff. And then you started with the rings, right? And everyone, I clearly remember how the fucking kind of sentiment changed a bit when they were like, dude, minting the rings at point two, everyone went super crazy, sold out immediately, and then skyrocketed. And they're like, okay, they're gonna be doing some stuff on abstract. Let's fucking go. And then we know how the first few weeks went with abstract. But even then, you're like, I'll do it again, and you did it again. So so I feel like everyone who's familiar with, engineers, yourself, and how's that happened for the past few months can say the same, right? Like I'm just openly and publicly saying like kudos to you guys because it is literally saying fuck you to the market. I don't care about the conditions. I'll do my own, and people will just come.
Yeah,
How do
I
you feel?
appreciate it. I mean,
Yeah. Mm,
it's it's definitely been an uphill battle, but
mm,
we were incredibly lucky that we didn't have to build our community from scratch. So
mm.
we bootstrapped from the Wolfgang guys. We bootstrapped,
Yep.
like we gave allowed us to a lot of like communities that I knew would enjoy this. So
Mm,
like let's say people like groups like Uncharted, shout out Derek and JW, like those guys,
mm,
Cambria. uh,
of course.
we built up like a community before we launched of people
Mm,
that I knew would enjoy this. And really, we can build the best product in the world, but without the community to back this up, there's not a chance that we do it as well as we did. And
yeah.
without glazing too much, I vividly remember watching Plooshies mint out and like
Mm,
super quickly.
yep.
So I was like, okay, these guys like really like, because you guys were like the first like real like instant mint out, right?
Yep.
or-
Yep.
that definitely played a part. Same with Gigaverse. Like, so
Mm.
there's this quote that I like to use. It's like, if
Hmm.
I've seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. So shout out to you guys.
No, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. It's also kind of, I think now it's part of the lore, because now we can talk about this as well, because it was like the first week of mainnet going live, right? And then it was Friday when we decided to mint, and obviously the sentiment was super low, market conditions were kind of shit and stuff. But we also were like, we're fully confident that we can bring something, right? Like, for us, it was even easier, obviously, because the supply is super small, anyways. Like, not like you guys, for instance, right, with a 10K. But it was sort of like showing, like, hey, I mean, the activity and the liquidity is there. It's just finding a way to activate that. And I feel like you mentioned something really, really important, that regardless of market conditions, if you've been able to tailor that community for however long it takes, you can pretty much guarantee that they will back you up, right? Like, even because it's an uphill battle as well, and it's downhill or sometimes uphill, whatever. But when you know, like, you kind of know, right? Like, it's kind of like when you know, and we did that.
Yes, sir.
And then I felt like the rest and people were like, fuck it, like, we can do this too, right? Because we also have that community that have been supporting us for fucking years. uh, so yeah, it was really fucking cool to just see that unravel, like, the next days and weeks. And then even when, people kind of know, like, hey, let's wait for these guys, let's wait for these other guys, because it's pretty much gonna happen the same. And I just can't wait for us to, like, kind of like the guys that we are bullish on, the guys that I'm personally bullish on, of, the builders that are kind of, next to mint. Like, shout out to Kev from Final Brosu, by the way. um it is that, right? Like, it's giving, flipping the finger to the market and be like, I trust my community, I trust what we're doing. Now we have the support from Abstract, let's fucking do it. And then let's let the market decide how this is going to play out. Yeah, dude.
For sure, for sure. Like, what can we do? We can't control the market. We just need to
Yeah,
focus on things that we can control, like building
correct.
an interesting product, right?
Yeah. No, dude. And it's funny though, because when I was, obviously, I missed the cock rings, by the way, which I
Yeah,
was which I was this fucking annoying. But it's one of those things that you see them kind of go up on price, and then you're like, nah, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way. And then you're like, okay, I'm price out for now. And then it happened the same with Unchained Heroes and with the 10K collection and shit. I was like, okay, this is an opportunity to grab a few more, and then it started going up and up and up and up, and people just loving the game, right? Like, the I feel like the next question for me, though, related to season two, though, because
yes, sir.
how long did season one last, by the way? And how many
Season,
players you guys had in that season one? Because there's a lot of people, right? So I'm sure, I
yeah,
don't know, your servers were overloaded. How did you manage that? Because
for
it's not
sure.
that easy, right? Mm.
Yeah. So season one lasted around 3 weeks. It had two distinct phases, which were named leveling game and end game.
Mm. Yeah.
And overall, we got less players than people think. We got
Okay.
around 3 or 4K for the entire season. But
Okay.
the thing about on-chain heroes is that it scales really well the more heroes you have. It's not a traditional RPG. You can think of it as like an like a hero management game where
Mm.
like the game isn't to like level like play around with your single character like World of Warcraft or Diablo or whatever, but
Yeah.
rather it's figuring out how to strategically deploy your heroes and try and min max the game protocol and outdo your
Mm.
peers. So what this ends up once what ends up happening is that people that have a lot of disposable or sorry that have a lot of capital they
Mm.
would size in. So for example, shout out Insider, who is our who was first place for season one. He has
Mm.
like 300 something heroes.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
After season one, Tran, who is another whale, he has I think over 300 now.
Mm.
um, so this is the type of game that on-chain heroes is, but uh, while saying this, I realized that people that are listening that have maybe one hero, they
Mm.
perhaps they were like, okay, then this is the game for me. But actually, right? the way that the game protocol is designed is that the smaller players will likely have different win conditions to larger players. So what that means is larger
Interesting.
players will just size in and they will go for the top of the leaderboard.
Mm,
Obviously, smaller players can't do this. So rather, perhaps their win condition is figuring out, okay, then I'm going to get as many resources as I can and perhaps sell them on the open market. To me, this is
mm.
part of the game, right? Uh, Another one might be, I want to stock up, tokens for the next season. That's also another win condition. So there's a ton of ways that you can play this. Um, but yeah, I realized that I rambled off a bit, but
No,
to
that's fine
recap,
because it makes me think as well, like different sort of strategies that people can come up with.
yeah,
That you guys are kind of like. It's funny though because I'm pretty sure all of us, like people can come up with the different strategies if they read the documents, right? Like if they read,
yes,
like if they simply read it,
never
the
gonna
people
happen.
who never gonna happen. I agree. Like we've
Yeah.
encountered that issue too. People like explaining what Plooshy Island, what people can expect on Plooshy Island. But I think it's one of those things that we like, perhaps you and Anchin here and your team and myself as well, and my team is sort of like figuring out how to communicate that so people can understand that there are multiple strategies to go about a certain game. Like it doesn't matter if like you have people with a bunch of the assets, or people just holding one, that they can also have the same sort of opportunities uh, to have fun and to win, and just like just the idea of having fun. Like it doesn't matter if it's 1, 10, 20, 300, like your super whales. But yeah, um, yeah, it's interesting though because I mean I have one on Chin Hero at the moment,
Mhm.
right? So even if it's just the one, obviously because I mean I'm supporting you and I truly believe in what you're doing. Probably I have to grab some more, but it's just it doesn't matter. With one, I'm having fun, dude. I'm having a blast. Like it's just one of those things like when it becomes a routine for people, right? Which I feel like a lot of people had for those 3 weeks or so of season one, and
For
hinting,
sure.
hey, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming. And now we just sort of like I'm like with you guys, like the 570 people that are watching this. Like I'm just kind of like waiting and what's gonna happen with season two. Like if season one they gave us sort of like, it feels like you gave us a teaser of what could this become, right?
Hmm.
With season two and probably season three, four, five,
Of
whatever
course.
you name it. So how do you go about planning these seasons? Do you already have what's going to happen in, obviously what for season two, but like for three, four, do you think that further, like that far ahead?
Yeah, yeah. So my philosophy around game development or game design is that
Mm,
I have a vague idea. Well, the closer seasons are obviously more fleshed out, and the
mm,
off-season events are also fleshed out. But something like season 5, 6, 7, right?
yeah.
These I have like a vague idea of what you know up to season 5 is going to look like and what game mechanics are going to release. But I try not to plan too far ahead because Web3 moves so fast that I think that if
Mm,
we try and commit to a roadmap set in stone right now,
yeah.
it may be setting us up for failure, just because
Mm,
we need to be agile. Like as a small gaming studio that is
yep.
working on an indie game, the one big like benefit that I need to leverage uh, compared to bigger like gaming studios is that we can be nimble, we can be quick, and we can
Mm,
pivot really quickly, right? Um, so with that in mind, we definitely know what the next 3 to like 6 months looks like, but after
okay.
that, we're keeping it open on purpose because uh, every time that we design something, we're taking into account uh, community sentiment, community feedback,
Yep.
and data, right? On-chain data.
Mm.
So looking at all of these will dictate how the game is going to proceed. Um, and yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, because it is that way, right? Like even when I'm thinking about Plooshy Island as well, like once people start, playing the game and feeling game and going through the game loop and having that community feedback that later on before we actually go with the public release, because we'll start small. like you, right? Which is token gated in a way. For you to be able to play the game is token gated, and this will be token gated via the upcoming mint, which is the apartments. That people with who have apartments will be able to play the game. But it gives you that which you mentioned, which is important, the data, understanding the the gamers, how do you call it? The gamers, like the gamer sentiment, like how they play the game, so it can kind of guide you to do something else or pivot and take that community feedback as well. Um,
Exactly.
how do you handle community feedback, by the way? Now that you've been live for quite some time.
Of course, community feedback is something that I read and I digest and
Mm,
use as yet another data point in my decision making. So, in other
okay.
words, I don't take community feedback as Bible, though I do read
Mm,
everything, because often what the community wants and what the game should look like may be slightly different. So, a
mm.
concrete example of this is often the community wants me to do stuff that'll pump their bags, but actually, what I need to do is figure out how to create a interesting gaming experience such that
Mm,
more people are engaged and people watching from the outside, uh, they're looking at us and like everyone's like the timeline might be gloomy, but you know
yeah.
all of the on-chain heroes players were comfy, just clicking their little buttons and taking risk on chain, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I need to focus on, and hopefully the price will take care of itself. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, that's what I mean by saying that community feedback is great, but often there's misaligned incentives which I need to account
Mm.
for.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because, yeah, you're right. Sometimes there might be misaligned incentives because more often than not, people just want to see their backs pump, right? It's just the nature of the space. And when that's not happening the way they were expecting, you as kind of like the leader and face, you need to set that expectations and be like, hey, this is what's happening, guys. Like, I appreciate the feedback, but let's focus on, one, retention, onboarding new people into our ecosystem, and let them, have fun, and the market will later decide whether we go up or down. I mean, it's up to the market, right? But with the stuff that you're doing, and the support and shit, that's it's kind of like having this sort of winner's recipe, in my opinion. That later on is just, we'll remember those days when you needed to, deal with all the thought that I'm pretty sure, like, there's no way that a project can go without any kind of thought, right?
Of
um,
course.
so for you, as the founder and lead game dev of On-Chain Heroes, how do you deal with that? How do you look after yourself after, because we all do that, right? We read all the community sentiment, even if we sometimes don't reply immediately or whatever. But how do you deal that with
For
that
sure.
personally? Because it's not easy
Yeah.
though. Like, it's not fucking easy.
Dude, yeah, it fucking sucks. When
Shit.
your holders are shitting on you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But after going through like launch, right?
Mm,
FUD is, I think, a part of just Web3 in general, um, and it's something that I've come to terms with. And I don't know if you
mm,
remember, we had that call with Luca a while ago, and I was asking Luca like, "Hey, bro, price
yeah.
action, price will do its thing. How do you stay sane?" That's something that I
Mm,
asked. And essentially, I think Luca was saying something along the lines of, uh, people will always complain, people will always be unhappy,
mm,
or some people will, right? And the best thing that I can do is to continue shipping. And
yep.
when I say, our next activation is here, and season 2 is launching, World Boss is launching, make sure that it's a very enjoyable and very fun experience, and sort of build trust, because though I
Yeah.
have some trust, it's still very early for us. Let's
Mm,
like compared to, like, let's say Pudgy Penguins, right? Luca has built
mm,
up so much goodwill and trust over the years that whenever Luca says that they're going to cook, everyone knows that penguins
yeah.
are going to cook, right?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of us doing something similar where we need to build trust and
Mm,
continue shipping experiences, and not. and on a personal level, not take things too personally, not take things too seriously. It's just, it's just a game, right? And we're here to have fun.
Yeah.
So so yeah, a combination of those.
Do you? How's your morning routine look like? How does it look like? How do you? What's a typical day for Scully? Uh, Kind of like this, connecting these dots of like, how do I look after myself to be able to perform at my best?
For sure.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that self care hasn't been something that I've been doing well recently. Usually, well, during season one at least, right? I'd wake up,
Mm,
I'd start working, and I would
mm,
work until I sleep. Right? That's just how my days were. But recently, something that I've started to do is I get back into the gym. And honestly, if you're listening and you don't
mm.
go to the gym, please go to the gym. It's like
Yeah.
such a life hack, honestly.
Mm,
Like if I've got a mental block, or like I'm trying to figure out like a technical problem, going to
mm.
the gym is like it would solve it like 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times.
Mm. Dude, it's interesting because we said, or more like you said, that you were gonna drop some alpha, but we didn't expect alpha, but IRL alpha.
Oh
Because I
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
Because I agree, dude. Like that self care is so important. Because yeah, sometimes I mean people need to understand that we're not fucking robots or AI. Like we're people as well, right? And we're doing our best to bring the best fucking experience. And if we're not at our best, then we're not gonna be able to bring the best experiences and products and shit. So yeah, shout out to you for being open with that, letting us know how you kind of look after yourself. um, One of the other things that you were mentioning though, which is interesting, when we talk about Luca, right, when we talk about how he's managed to build that trust with his community and how he handles certain announcements, I feel like now we know, and all of us are working on that, myself included in our team, that when we say something's gonna happen, like for instance with Luca, like if he says that 1, 2, and 3 is gonna happen, right, it's gonna happen. He's managed to build that trust with the community, and obviously when you kind of break that, it's hard for them to come back to you. um, so I feel like it's important, right, like how you're handling. It's been a while since we ended season one, and now you're kind of cooking season two, waiting, like hinting something's coming. But when it's coming, it's coming, and I feel like now we know that you're slowly building that trust. So shout out to you for that. That people know, like, hey, when season two comes, season two will come, and it's gonna be a fucking cook. Um, yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure. We've been pretty quiet on the timeline. Like
Mm.
it's been 1 week since season one ended, so, and
It's
people's
dude,
expectations are
interesting. One
insane.
week, it's insane, dude. 1 week, it feels like. I mean, we know how it is here in this industry, right? But it's crazy. It's only been 1 week,
For sure,
and even
for sure.
and even when you say like, yeah, we've been kind of quiet in the timeline, dude. It's only been 1 week. Like, come on.
Yeah,
But so many things that happen in 1 week, hey.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But we have stuff, right?
mm,
We have, like, we're not just like doing nothing. We're actually busier than ever, building
mm,
out the next phases of the game. But it doesn't make sense to, like, hype is a hype. I'll use hype, but as the word, but attention and hype are limited resources, and it doesn't make sense for us to use them now. They're like superpowers,
mm,
right?
yeah.
So we'll use it closer to the actual activation, and we're kind of good at building up this kind of anticipation and getting our holders
Mm,
excited.
yeah.
So yeah, if you're a holder and you're listening, more news on this soon.
You're sooning. I'm pretty sure Engineer Scarly and the team are sooning because I can feel it. Scarly, dude. One of the things that I wanted to ask you as well,
Sure.
for people who are listening as well, because we have 628 people
Insane.
listening to all of this. Yeah, it's insane, dude. Honestly, like considering how things have gone in the past few weeks or whatever, like I feel like 620. It's a pretty solid number. So thank you guys, by the way. Shout out to you for being here with us. Um, Scully, when you,
Yes.
how do you pick your team?
Like as for like the team that's building on Chain Heroes.
When it comes to the stuff that you building and cooking behind the scenes, having that support network from your team, how did you go about that? Like picking that, let's say your dream team, for
For
lack of a
sure.
better word.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, our team is comprised of 7 people at the moment. A lot of
Mm,
people think it's just me, but these guys are behind the scenes cooking up stuff. So we have 2 senior full stack engineers, one Solidity engineer, concept artist, pixel artist, and a UI UX guy. And these
mm,
guys are like, to me, they're like the Avengers of like,
mm,
game like Web3, right? So how did I pick these guys? Honestly, a lot of trial and error, and
mm.
probably like the first 2 months of us starting on Chain Heroes was me trying to find people to work with that both
Yep,
wanted to work with me and both and passed the kind of bar that I was setting. Um,
yep.
but it was a very painful process. I don't know if you've tried this, but I was
Mm,
on ArtStation, Reddit, Discords, Behance, or like whatever, any platform there was. I was reaching out to artists and like pitching them the game, and like,
yep,
I have like a little bit of money that I can pay you, and
yep,
let's like, if you're interested, let's do something cool together.
yep.
um, that process was huge. Artists were found from Reddit forums. Uh,
Wow.
devs were found. Devs were a bit easier. One was
Mm,
introduced by Beans and from the abstract team, and one was
yeah. Okay.
people that I knew IRL.
Mm,
Um, but honestly, how did I find them? I found them by just grinding. There was no shortcut, unfortunately. Um,
mm.
and yeah, that's kind of the secret sauce. It's kind of cliche, but you just need to put in the
Yeah.
work.
It's interesting, but because it really is kind of the full circle of the how we started this combo, right? Like how you became part of the of war game and how you become the the lead game dev there. Because obviously having that support network, like when we talk about Luker and his team, right? Like we kind of like when people think about you just being Scully equals Onchen Heroes, Luca equals Pochi Penguins. But having that support network from a very base team, like a very, very good one, it's just it makes you, I'm assuming, Scully, your life so much easier to make the right decisions and go with them and asking, maybe get challenged, ask for feedback, and keep pushing forward and keep aiming to get to the to the level that you see Ancient Heroes going. Um, so yeah, dude, it's pretty much the same. I don't want to talk too much related to the Plooshies though, because there's some stuff cooking that we are cooking behind the scenes. We tease something a little bit. If you guys have been paying attention and paying attention to what we've been posting on social media and stuff, uh, there's a photo IRL with me and Victor the Viking. Yeah, but it's yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't want to say too much, by the way. So if you have some alpha, please save me, Scully, because otherwise, I have this inside joke with the Plooshies community that when Tom Holland wants to to say something, that's kind of me. I'm not very good at
Yeah.
keeping secrets.
It's so
But
hard, right? Because it's hard because you're so excited to share because you know
yes,
that people will
yes,
love it.
yeah, yeah, exactly right. Um, how do you, yeah, how do you handle that as well, though? Because obviously, like our brains are, going at 200 miles per hour because we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to do that, and then trying to communicate that with the community so they can get it. What you're seeing, what you envision. Um, yeah, how do you manage that? Like communicating at the perfect time for you to
Yeah,
be able to be like, okay, because this is something that like when we were talking with Luca, I remember like there's only a limited time of announcements that will be a banger
exactly.
per year. How do you squeeze them? How do you
Absolutely.
let people actually know? Because it's not easy though. Like you can lay out. Let's say when I was asking you about the seasons, and you're like, yeah, I do have this broader idea or better idea of what the next 3 to 6 months would look like. But then later on, I want to be able to pivot, and I want to be able to have that sort of freedom to bring some other cool shit depending on how things go. But yeah, with these announcements and stuff, how do you go about that?
For sure. So it's a little bit easier for us because our game is divided into distinct seasons. So
Mm,
each season can be viewed as a big activation, and we
yeah.
can target our communications. We can target our announcements, everything around that, and building up to the big bang, which is launch. Right.
Mm,
All of this is depending on the underlying fact that the product is interesting and the product is fun, right?
yeah.
So we did that successfully with season one. So now we're in a position where people are like, okay, they did season one, maybe that was a fluke. Like now they're like looking to
Mm,
see whether season two will bring the same like interest, right?
yeah.
I absolutely believe it will. I have just so much conviction in what the next phase of the game looks like. I think people will love it.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, that's kind of like to answer your question.
yeah.
We have like the seasons, and we everything revolves around the launch of these seasons.
Yeah. Um, it's pretty well said though, by the way, because it's connected to even the expectations that you set for yourself, right? The
Mhm.
expectations of what Ancient Heroes can look like, and then how you can explain that um, to people who are watching this, who might be waiting. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who, I don't know if they're watching this or maybe they will watch the replay or clip it or whatever, that they kind of waiting to see like what you were mentioning, right? Like maybe season one was just a fluke. Let's see what's
Of
gonna happen
course.
in season two. But then when you know what you're bringing, you're like just kind of like making yourself like just wait and see, and then we can talk about it later again. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely. I'm acutely aware that a lot of people like On Chain Heroes is the game that gamers love to hate, right? I'm super aware of this, but I think they will be pleasantly surprised. My goal isn't to uh, please them; it's to please my holders who love this
yeah,
kind of game. So I think that I'm building something that our holders want. Um,
mm,
so I'm just really that's the north star for us, trying to figure out what our holders want, not what like Web3 gamers should want, if that makes sense.
yeah. Nah, 100%. Because I feel like this is something that even you tailored initially, right? When you were seeking for the communities that were gonna support you at some point, right? Whether that be for the rings or for the on-chain heroes, that you needed to find that perfect alignment, and not with sometimes the Web3 gaming community that can be quite brutal sometimes, and they token gate stuff, and they just make or break stuff just because, right? Because suddenly they have that big of an audience in a niche market, which is Web3 gaming. um
Hmm.
but yeah, dude.
Sure.
Cole, just before we kind of continue to the probably the last section of this epic stream, by the way. Cole, do you want to give us an update on what you've been cooking? Because sometimes, I mean, I just want to I want to continue to yap or whatever, but then I look at the stuff that you're doing and I'm like, dude, this is so fucking cool and so cute. um
It's insane that how you guys do this in real time.
I
Yeah,
mean,
well, pretty
shout out
much
to Cole, dude. It's pretty much what.
it's pretty much done now, but it's gonna take an hour to render because I animated them running around through the forest,
Wow, dude, look at
That's
that.
insane.
so it
Insane
loops
work.
and it will be pixely as well. We'll see how it looks though.
Let's go.
Damn. Nice. Let's go. Thank you. Thanks, Cole, for that update. Um, yeah, Scully, anything that you would want to let people know related to stuff that you've been cooking? If you have some alpha that you want to give, or you just want to wait for that. Um, yeah,
For
dude,
sure,
just
for sure. Something that people have been asking about, and something is hey, I want to play your game, but I don't want to spend
mm,
like $1,000 or whatever on an NFT to play it.
fair enough.
So is there going to be something for us?
Mm,
So not immediately, but it is something that we've started brainstorming internally. So
okay.
there will be a way to play the game with just you still need to hold something,
Mm,
but it doesn't have to be a hero. You'll be able to play the game with a token.
right.
So maybe that's a little bit of alpha for people. Um,
Nice.
in
Are
terms,
you?
yeah,
Um, I was gonna ask though, related to because you're obviously gonna be able to onboard more people to the game.
yes, sir,
Um, how do you prepare for that in terms of infrastructure and handling that? Because now
for
you're gonna
sure.
be able to bring more people in. Like maybe it's I'm just thinking ahead, that maybe some people were like, fuck that, I don't want people, like this is meant to be just for heroes, and this is just
Mhm.
meant to be like for people holding rings, like, but you want to bring people to experience the game, have fun, like giving a good entry for them to just
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that I need to make super, super clear is that when I say players will be able to play the game, it's not about diluting our existing heroes. That would
Hmm.
never happen. Um, so if you're reading this and you're worried, Scarly's, diluting, blah blah blah. That's not
Mm,
what I'm saying. Uh, but in terms of like how do we scale, like after now that's out of the way, how do we scale? How do we like
mm,
account for this? The beauty of on-chain gaming is that scaling is built in because of it's on chain, right? It's if there's
mhm,
like a million users, then gas prices will go up. It's something that we don't have to care about. In terms of infrastructure, the simple answer to this is that we throw more money at servers, which we
mm.
are in a good position to do. Um,
Good.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we do test things internally. Like we spin up like 1,000. Like what happens if there's like 1,000 heroes in the lobby? There's
Mm,
like little tips and tricks that we can use to optimize for performance. But the TLDR is that we test it, we throw more money at it at our
mm.
servers to make sure that everything scales properly. Um, so yeah, hopefully users shouldn't have too many problems.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you another question, Scully, that pops to my mind, because I know that I'll see you anyways, like next month for sure, just on a personal level, like when I go back
Yes,
to UAE.
absolutely.
Are you planning to do stuff for Token 2049 in Dubai? Are
Oh,
Ancient Heroes planning to do like some IRL activations, or maybe not this year, like or just you being there? Which, by the way, guys, I know that Scully doesn't have that camera on, but when when we finally met IRL in Paris, like both of us were like, dude, we had
yeah.
an inside joke. I don't know if we want to talk about that, but that would be
Oh,
funny. But
yeah, yeah.
do you want to talk about that before
What
we
is it? I
actually?
don't I don't I don't know what the inside, like. I mean, you can talk about it. I don't care, right?
Yeah, right. No, it was like, when the first, I think it was Tuesday when we were meant to have the abstract dinner with some of the founders and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then when we were all getting to know each other, right? Like if we didn't know how people look like or whatever. And then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
suddenly when you arrive there, and then people like, yeah, but this is Scully. And then you're like, wait, Bogan? And I'm like, wait, Scully? There's no fucking way. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Because if you guys don't know, Scully's a very tall dude. And
I'm tall as fuck.
yeah,
I'm a
tall as fuck. Yeah.
for sure. I'm a tall Asian guy. If you guys ever see a tall Asian guy, it's probably me.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's funny though, because obviously we know that Luca is also a very tall dude. But putting you next to Luca is like you don't really see that much of a difference.
Oh,
So,
dude, he's
but
so big.
yeah, yeah, dude. And me being, I want to call myself a short king because I'm like fucking 5'9". Um, but it was so funny because Scarly was like, dude, I expected you to be fucking blonde and tall with that Aussie accent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I was with Scarly, dude, I expected you to be, yes, Asian, but not
Yeah,
super
man.
tall, dude. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is
people
going
don't
on
know.
here? Yeah.
It's the lore. It's the lore.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
Yes.
uh,
But yeah,
I
going
might.
back to the topic, yeah, Token 2049 Dubai. Do you have anything
Yeah.
lined
I was
up
just
for
gonna
that?
say, maybe. It's not a personal strength of mine.
Hmm.
IRL activations or merch or like whatever.
Yeah.
Just because we're a game development studio, but if there's sufficient interest, I know that some of our holders are coming.
Mm,
And if anyone's listening, if you guys can type in ring bearer chat, if you guys want me to do something, maybe we will, right?
yeah.
It's something that I'm open to, not something that I'm actively planning.
Okay.
um but yeah.
Yeah, it would be sick though. But I mean, anyways, I'll see you. I'll see you in Dubai, whether that be obviously
Absolutely.
on a personal level. I'll let you know for sure. Because
100%.
guys, honestly, both of us, being and bringing stuff to abstract, and so many others that are actually cooking really cool shit. Uh, we want to be able to bring, that sort of fun on chain, uh, with the stuff that Scal is doing, with the stuff that we are doing. So for me, it's one of the things it's very important, and to just say that publicly. Like, first of all, Scally, thanks heaps for joining us, because I don't know how often you tend to do, like, whether that be spaces or live streams. So for you to being able to agree to even join one of ours, I really appreciate it, dude, because you're also one of those guys and the projects that people know that, hey, uh, this is pretty fucking sick, and I can see that our community can see that. I know that even one of our whales, Jello, he holds a
Yes.
bunch of Ancient Heroes, so I'm pretty sure
Oh,
he's
no
watching
way.
this.
All
So
right, let's
yeah,
go.
dude, the moment that you guys gave us some Wiley spots, the people, the community were super bullish, and I love to see that. Right, I love to see my community having fun with Unchained Heroes. Um, this is it. This is it. Like, we're just building and supporting each other, and I just fucking love to see that. So yeah, just wanted to say that real quick, right?
For sure. I mean, thank you to the Plooshies community for showing us love. But like honestly, we've seen nothing but we've felt nothing but love from them. So really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That's the Plushes community for you. But yeah, dude. Anything else that you want to add? We've been going. I don't want to take a lot of your time, in
Uh-huh.
case you have stuff to do, like stuff to cook. I don't know. But this is also an interesting question, though. Just real quick. Sorry, my brain sometimes works this way. Do you
Yeah.
tend to work
Go ahead.
harder at night rather than in the morning? Like, when you logged in, like, it doesn't matter if it's fucking midnight or 1, 2, 3 a.m. Like, when you have to do shit, you need to do shit.
That's a tricky one. I
Mm.
think I'm better in the mornings. Like my
Okay.
mornings usually start at like 10 a.m. my time because I'm usually
Hmm.
up to like 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Dubai time, just
Yeah.
so that I can accommodate for like US hours.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes sense.
but morning is when there are less people in the Discord. There's less
Mm.
urgent fires for me to put out.
Yeah.
I have my morning coffee. I got my
Mm.
like little gym session, and that's I think
Yeah.
like the peak time. And then usually later on in the day when like the US and like the Europe and whatever wakes up, I'm
Mm.
usually focusing a little bit more on the community and like figuring out stuff like this. So mornings are the deep work sessions, I guess, for me.
Okay. Interesting, because when I'm in the UAE as well, like, it's such a weird time zone, dude. I don't know if you
Yeah.
feel it that way, but it's like when you wake up, like, either people are gonna go to bed in the US, or probably most of the DJs will be up or not if they're trading or whatever. But most people are sleeping. Europe is definitely sleeping. Uh, the Asian market, the Asian region as well, is sort of like, probably it's getting a bit too late, so maybe they'll be active or maybe not. But for me, it's sort of like in the morning, I have heaps of time to, like, just
Mhm.
focus on myself and then start working and then adapt myself to that US time zone. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is weird. So I'm pretty sure I'll have to do that again when I go back next month. Um, but yeah,
Exactly.
um,
For sure.
yeah, dude, Scully. thanks again, dude. Honestly, thanks heaps for your time. Very grateful that you wanted to join us today, and can't wait for season two. Can't wait for the stuff that you will be dropping in the coming weeks. And yeah, mate. Honestly, thanks for your time, and I'll definitely see you in Dubai next month for sure.
100%. Thanks for having me. It was a blast. And if any
Yeah,
other founders are listening, I highly recommend this experience. It's great.
thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you had fun, honestly. And Cole, again, legend. Thanks heaps. Once we get that rendered, let's send it to Scully. But
Let's
yeah,
go.
dude,
Yes, sir.
thanks heaps. Thanks, guys, and thanks for everyone that's tuning in that wanted to be with us tonight. You could have been somewhere else. You chose to be with us, and I appreciate that for you. So, yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Good night.
See
See
you
ya.
later. Bye.
Good night, guys.